The Skoda Superb has always been a top choice for families and for caravan owners alike. Now this latest version has already impressed us here at the Caravan Motorhome Club because it won its weight class in Towcar 2025, the 1300 to 1500 kilogram category. Let's take a look around. At first glance, it would seem as though not much has changed with the Superb, but look a little bit closer and you'll notice that the previous generation's sharp creases and chiselled good looks have made way for a softer design. The new car is 40mm longer than before, but actually 15mm narrower, which should help when driving down tight country lanes to the caravan site. Now inside the Superb Estate, you get a lot of equipment for your money. As standard, this car comes with heated and massaging front seats, yes really, front and rear parking sensors and a reversing camera. This mid-spec car, it's an SEL, adds some really nice luxury touches such as matrix LED headlights, cooled seats and a electric tailgate as well. Now, another thing you'll notice about this car is the dashboard is a lot more interesting than on the previous Superb. That car, it was pretty austere, very plain looking. Here, it's a lot more design-led. Now, the dashboard is totally dominated by this touchscreen. It comes as standard on all Superb Estates. It measures 13 inches in size and it runs Skoda's latest infotainment system, and it's really good actually. Very easy to use on the move. There's a huge amount of functionality. It's really very good indeed. Now, another sense you get in here is it does feel very minimalist, but Skoda hasn't forgotten that it is a Skoda after all, and functionality is very important to a Skoda. So down here, you get some proper heating and ventilation controls. You don't have to go through the touchscreen, which is really good news indeed. Now these dials down here, they're not just normal dials, they are smart dials. And they are pretty smart actually, because you can change what each one does. So the middle one here is currently set on volume, but you can change it to map, for example, so you can control the map on the touchscreen, you can change it to fan and the air direction. So it's really nice. I just wish they just felt a little bit nicer to touch. They do feel a little bit plasticky, but I really do like the fact they are there. And in terms of decluttering, that brings me on to the next thing, which is the gear selector. It's up here. Normally you'd find it down here, wouldn't you? But it's actually up here on this stalk. It does mean the left-hand stalk has got all of your other controls, such as wipers and lights and etc., which is a little bit annoying, but it's not too bad. Now, because the gear lever is up here, you've got a lot more storage down here. You've got a couple of cup holders, a huge cubby down here, which is your wireless phone charging. But this, I really like. You can open it just there, and then down here, you've got a huge space, but there are some nice little touches as well, typical Skoda. Not only do you get an umbrella in the door and an ice scraper in the filler flap, but there's also a space here for you can store your glasses, and there's even a little rubber here, so you can clean, get rid of all those nasty fingerprints on the screen. So overall, it's a really nice interior. Let's take a look in the back. First thing you'll notice back here is how wide these doors open, which is fantastic if you're loading children in or perhaps filling the car up with all kinds of stuff when you're going away towing. Let's actually close this door because it's pretty cold today. And of course, you will note also how much space there is back here. Now, this has been a Skoda Superb trademark for as long, well, since the car was introduced in the early 2000s. You get limousine levels of legroom. I'm 5'11". That seat is set up in my driving position, and look at the amount of space I've got. You can really relax back here and not have to brush your knees up against the seat in front of you. Headroom is very good too. Let me sit upright. It's very good indeed. You can just about fit 3 people back here, but the middle seat passenger will have to straddle this pretty large hump in the floor. But for two people, there is huge amount of space. Some nice little things back here. We get air conditioning, we've got heated rear seats as well, 2 USB-C charging ports. This armrest is quite a neat touch actually, because when you flip this open, you get a couple of cup holders and also a place to perhaps store your iPad or your phone. So if you want to actually watch a movie back here, you could possibly do that. And there's also a ski hatch for a bit of extra flexibility. Of course, as you would expect, there are ISOFIX points in both outer seats. And overall, it is a very, very nice place to be. Round to the boot, and this particular car has got an optional extra. It's called virtual pedal, which is Skoda speak for a hands-free tailgate. All you need to do is wave your foot underneath the rear bumper and the tailgate automatically opens. One thing I really like about this car is the roller blind, the load cover roller blind automatically rolls back when the tailgate lifts. Now, the Skoda Superb Estate has always had a massive boot, but for this car, it's even bigger, 650 litres in there. That is absolutely massive. A word of warning though, if you do go for the plug-in hybrid version, you lose 140 litres because the car's batteries are underneath the boot floor. This isn't a plug-in hybrid, it's a diesel, so you've got the full 650 litres here. We've got nice little touches in here. Of course, it's a Skoda after all. There are little hooks here. You can easily fold down the rear seats with these handles on this side. And then over here, we've got the same back seat release handle here, and we've got a 12-volt socket as well, so you can charge things up if you're out and about as well. Now, in terms of tow bars, Skoda offer two versions. They're both electric. The standard one is the one we've got here. It costs just over £1,100, or you can upgrade it by an extra £100 or so, and Skoda will fit trailer assist as well. Right then, let's take it for a drive. Under the bonnet, and you'll find 3 petrols, 2 diesels, yes, I did say diesel, and a plug-in hybrid that can do up to 83 miles on pure electric range. Now, the car that we awarded the Towcar 2025 award to was the 1.5 turbocharged petrol with 148 brake horsepower. Now, it's a very good engine, very smooth, very refined, but some people will only want a diesel, and that's what we've got here. It's the 2-litre TDI diesel with 148 brake horsepower. It's the lower powered version. You can get a more powerful one with around 190 brake horsepower, and that only comes with 4-wheel drive. Now, this diesel, you find it in a whole load of VW Group products. It's a good engine, nice and torquey, good levels of power. It's just that the refinement levels aren't amazing. It's absolutely fine, but compared to that 1.5 litre petrol, this is noticeably noisier. Now, all of those engines, the petrols, the diesels and the plug-in hybrid, only come with a DSG automatic gearbox. There are no manuals on offer in the Superb range. So the really good thing about the diesel is its long-legged cruising ability. When you actually fill this car up, it says, it reads out over 700 miles of range. You can easily coax this engine up to around 57, almost 60 mpg. That does drop to around 27 mpg when you're towing, but that is really good in a big car like this. Now, the ride on the standard fit passive suspension isn't quite as good as you might expect it to be. I mean, Skoda Superbs of old, apart from the sporty Sportline models, they've always ridden really well. This is a little bit on the knobbly side. And it's for that reason I would actually choose the dynamic chassis control. That is VW Group speak for adaptive dampers. It gives you a lot more flexibility. You can really soften up the dampers for a very comfortable ride, or you can stiffen them up if you're on a twisty set of roads, for example. It's pretty pricey at £1,300, but I would go for it because, like I say, it really can soften the suspension very nicely. And particularly when you're towing, it just gives you a bit more adaptability. Now, it's a really nice car to drive. There are no surprises when you get behind the wheel of the Superb. It goes and stops just how you'd expect it to. So you've got that rumbly diesel engine up front. You've got very reactive but pretty short on feel steering, and the whole car just goes about its business in a very comfortable and refined way. This isn't a sporty estate by any measure. You know, a BMW 3 Series Touring is a lot more thrilling to drive, but for most people, you go for a Superb estate because you want the big boot, you want the huge amounts of rear legroom. You just want a very easy, well put together, comfortable, up to the job kind of car. And on that score, this Skoda Superb is spot on. The last Superb estate was so good at towing that it took overall honours in Towcar of the Year Awards 2021. And this one is great too. There's a bit of tug when moving off, but once up to speed, the Superb is very unflustered. It handles well and is very refined, and it also has excellent rear visibility when reversing when hitched. Surprise, surprise, the Skoda Superb Estate is a fantastic tow car. It's a beautifully refined car to drive, offers all the tech that you could need, and excels itself when it comes to practicality and space. The Superb is a high watermark when it comes to tow cars, and for good reason.